Just outside insert town name, nestled in the whispering silence of a forgotten forest, stands the insert name mill. Built in insert year, this once bustling hub of industry now stands as a skeletal monument to time and decay. But the townspeople, they'll tell you the mill never truly fell silent. This year, whispers turned to screams as a series of unsettling events plagued a group of urban explorers who dared to venture inside the mill's crumbling walls. It began subtly strange noises, disembodied voices echoing through the empty halls. Then the temperature would plummet without reason, a bone-chilling cold that clung to the air. But as the explorers ventured deeper, the phenomena intensified. Full-bodied apparitions, their eyes burning with an eerie, otherworldly light, appeared before them. Objects moved on their own, as if controlled by unseen hands. Doors slammed shut, trapping the terrified explorers in the darkness. Imagine a small, quiet town, the kind where everyone knows their neighbors and doors are left unlocked at night. That was insert town name, at least until this past June. On a starless night, beneath an unsettlingly silent sky, 22-year-old Sarah Thompson vanished. She was last seen leaving her job at the local diner, a place she'd worked since high school. Her car was found abandoned a mile outside of town, engine still running, driver's side door flung open. But there was no sign of Sarah. What's truly unsettling are the clues left behind. Her phone was discovered on the side of a dirt road, miles from her car, with a single chilling text displayed on the screen. "Don't trust." The message ended abruptly, leaving investigators and Sarah's loved ones with more questions than answers. Was Sarah abducted? Did she run away? Or did something far more sinister befall her on that lonely stretch of road? For decades, whispers have circulated amongst truckers and late-night travelers about a stretch of Highway 13, notorious for its hairpin turns and dense fog. But the real terror lies not in the road itself, but in the spectral figure that's said to haunt it. They call her the Lady in White, a young woman in a flowing white gown, her face obscured by shadow or sometimes by the long dark hair that cascades down her back. Some say she's the victim of a hit and run, forever searching for the driver who left her to die. Others believe she's mourning a lost love, her spirit tethered to the spot where they last embraced. This year alone, there have been multiple reports of a woman stepping out into the road only to vanish when approached. Drivers slam on their brakes, hearts pounding, but when they look back, there's nothing there. Just the endless empty highway stretching out before them like a sinister grin. Chapter 4. The Possession of Emily Rose. The name Emily Rose may sound familiar. Her story, shrouded in controversy and fear, sent shockwaves through the nation just a few short years ago. But this year, Emily's case took an even darker turn. After undergoing a grueling exorcism that left her physically and emotionally scarred, Emily retreated from the public eye, seeking solace within the walls of a secluded monastery. But whatever darkness had taken root in her soul refused to let go. Reports from within the monastery spoke of terrifying episodes, objects flying across the room, blood-curdling screams echoing through the halls in the dead of night. Some whispered that the entity that had possessed Emily was more powerful than anyone had anticipated. Others claimed that the exorcism had only served to further enrage it, trapping it in a state of perpetual torment. Chapter 5. The Creepy Clown Sightings. It started innocently enough. A few children in the small town of insert town name reported seeing a clown in the woods behind their school. They described him as tall and lanky, with an unsettling grin plastered across his white-painted face. At first, the adults dismissed it as childish imagination, but then the sightings began to escalate. The clown was spotted lurking in the shadows of the local park, his eyes glowing menacingly in the darkness. Teenagers reported seeing him peering through the windows of their homes at night, his laughter echoing through the empty streets. The once peaceful town was gripped by fear and paranoia. Parents refused to let their children out of their sight. The police were baffled, unable to find any trace of the elusive clown. Was it an elaborate prank or something far more sinister? Chapter 6. The Haunted Asylum. Towering over a desolate landscape, its windows like vacant eyes staring out into the world, stands Cranbrook Mental Asylum. Abandoned for over half a century, Cranbrook is a place where time seems to stand still. The air is thick with the memories of the souls who were once imprisoned within its walls, their anguish and despair lingering like a suffocating fog. Recently, a group of paranormal investigators decided to spend the night within Cranbrook's crumbling walls, hoping to document the truth behind the legends. What they encountered was beyond their wildest nightmares. As darkness descended upon the asylum, the investigators were bombarded by a barrage of unexplained phenomena. Disembodied voices whispered their names, urging them to turn back. Shadows danced at the edge of their vision, taking on grotesque and threatening forms. And then there were the footsteps. Heavy, deliberate footsteps echoing through the empty corridors as if something was stalking them through the labyrinthine halls. Chapter 7. The Curse of the Ancient Artifact. In the world of archaeology, where the past is unearthed one artifact at a time, there are whispers of objects imbued with a power that transcends our understanding. Objects like the insert name, a small, unassuming amulet discovered earlier this year in the ruins of an ancient temple deep within the Amazon rainforest. The amulet, crafted from an unknown black stone, was adorned with intricate carvings that seemed to writhe and shift when exposed to light. The lead archaeologist on the expedition, a man known for his skepticism and logic, was immediately drawn to the artifact, feeling an inexplicable pull towards its dark energy. Against the warnings of his colleagues, he pocketed the amulet, determined to unlock its secrets. But the artifact, it seemed, had other plans. Chapter 8. The Harper family moved into the house on Maple Street with dreams of fresh starts and happy memories. They never could have imagined the nightmare that awaited them. It began subtly, a picture frame falling from the wall, a door slamming shut on its own, but soon the incidents escalated, becoming more frequent and more violent. Objects flew across the room with impossible force, shattering against the walls. Furniture moved on its own as if controlled by unseen hands. The family dog, once a playful and affectionate companion, cowered in fear, whimpering at unseen presences. Then came the voices, whispers at first, barely audible, but then growing louder, angrier. The Harpers tried everything to rid their home of the unseen entity. They called in priests, paranormal investigators, even self-proclaimed psychics, but nothing worked. The poltergeist, it seemed, was there to stay. Chapter 9. Along the desolate stretches of Route 66, where the wind whispers tales of forgotten journeys, the legend of the Vanishing Hitchhiker has persisted for decades. But this year, the legend took on a terrifying new life. It started with a trucker driving the lonely night shift when he spotted a young woman standing by the side of the road, her thumb outstretched in the universal sign of a hitchhiker. Her clothes were soaked through, her face pale and drawn. He pulled over, offering her a ride. The woman, her voice barely a whisper, gave him an address a few towns over. The trucker, a kind soul despite his gruff exterior, agreed to take her. They chatted about inconsequential things, the weather, the road, their favorite songs. But as they approached the exit for the town the woman had mentioned, she was gone, vanished without a trace. Chapter 10. There's a darkness that resides at the edge of our vision, a flicker of movement that sends shivers down our spines. It's the stuff of nightmares, the embodiment of our deepest fears, the shadow man. For centuries, people have reported seeing a shadowy figure lurking in the periphery of their vision. He's often described as tall and slender, with indistinct features and a cold, malevolent presence that chills the air around him. This year, the sightings have reached an all-time high. People from all walks of life, doctors, lawyers, teachers, have reported seeing the shadow man in their homes, in their cars, even in broad daylight. Some believe he's a demonic entity feeding on fear and despair. Others believe he's a harbinger of death, a grim reaper come to collect souls. Whatever his true nature, one thing's for sure: the shadow man is a terrifying reminder that there are some things in this world that we were never meant to understand. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the dark heart of 2024. If you enjoyed these tales of the strange and mysterious, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a new upload. And if you have a story of your own, something that sent chills down your spine and kept you up at night, share it in the comments below. You never know, your story might just be featured in my next video. Until then, sleep tight, if you can.